I try to be objective with all of my sports coverage, and listen, Jacy Sheldon objectively should be suspended for this play. I just don't know in what world, in what universe you watch that play back and you go, that was a basketball play. She was trying to make a basketball move, especially with all the angles of this.
The fans are speaking up, and they're done with the drama. The latest issue. A rough, hard hit by Jacy Sheldon that many think was aimed straight at Caitlin Clark, the league's top star. To lots of people watching, it didn't seem like just tough playing, it looked deliberate. Now, the anger is growing, and fans want serious consequences. Many say a fine won't cut it, they want a suspension that sends a clear message. If you agree, type suspend Sheldon in the comments. Let's make our voices count.
Sheldon was clearly targeting Caitlin Clark most of this game, and that is, that comes from a function of, she guarded her in one-on-one situations a lot up the court, and then rolled into a lot of doubles in the half court, but there was talking and chirping all game, and for me it was punctuated by Caitlin Clark's final play before she came out of the game, where she stares Jacy Sheldon down, essentially demonstrates, she's like, if you poke me in my eye, I will shoot it in yours. And she crosses her, finds the favorite spot, free throw line extended from the logo area, big U3 to Jacy Sheldon, yells at the Connecticut bench, yells at the crowd.
Twitter to TikTok, the backlash is picking up speed. Fans are filling sports forums, and hashtags like #BanJacySheldon are trending everywhere. People aren't just mad, they want real change. They're asking for more than a warning or a small fine. They want a strong suspension that sends a clear message and makes players think twice. If the referees can't keep Caitlin Clark safe on the court, then the league needs to step up and take action.
Time Caitlin Clark takes the court, her opponents act like they've been booked for a main event brawl. The WNBA is doing nothing about it. Opponents aren't playing ball. They're strategically ambushing her. They're trying to injure her. Opponents bring chaos. She brings composure. And what Sophie did last night is completely valid. The WNBA has to do something about it.
The incident that sparked all this happened during a routine game between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. What should have been just another matchup quickly turned ugly, with Caitlin Clark clearly being singled out. This time, the move was so obvious that even casual fans noticed, and now they're speaking up loud and clear.
Jacy Sheldon, there is a legitimate hatred there. If you guys have heard, this Ohio State team, this 2023 Ohio State team hated that Iowa team. And this is Jacy Sheldon, who was Caitlin Clark's direct matchup in these games. Like I tweeted out, forget Angel, forget Dejanay. This is Caitlin Clark's one true right.
During a defensive play, Jacy Sheldon poked her fingers right into Caitlin Clark's eye, and it didn't seem accidental. What made it even worse, she smiled afterward, leaving fans shocked. This wasn't just a careless move or a tough play gone wrong. For many watching, it felt personal, deliberate, and aimed at the player who's been driving the league's growth like no one else.
Funny thing about that whole Caitlin and Jacy situation last night is it's like on a if you know thing. These two have been running the friendly fade on the court for like the last 4 years. They played in college, had great battles, so I'm not surprised last night.
It didn't stop there. As Clark reeled from the eye poke, Sheldon kept at it, grabbing her arm and scratching her with her nails. It was a clear cheap shot, with no effort to play the ball. Then, just when things seemed to hit a new low, Marina Mabrey came from behind and shoved Clark to the floor. All of this happened right in front of the referees, and they did nothing. No whistle, no foul call, just silence, like they weren't even paying attention.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm gonna protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so.
And didn't stay quiet. Within hours, Jacy Sheldon's social media blew up with backlash. People weren't just angry, they were fed up, frustrated after feeling ignored for too long. All over the internet, the message was clear. Fans want suspensions, fines, even bans. Whether upset or disappointed, Everyone agreed this crossed the line. Sheldon wasn't seen as just a tough player anymore. She was called out for cheap shots against the league's biggest star, and fans aren't letting it go.
Get it from behind or from the side. It's so obvious that she straight up leapt out towards Caitlyn and got her right in the eye. And the more I try and watch it back and you try to be objective, there is no world where this was a basketball play. And yes, she was playing tough defense on Caitlyn up until that point, but she leapt forward. And it's not like it's defensible where you can say she tried to get the ball, because her hand at that point was so far away from where the ball was. It's not like Caitlyn was dribbling the ball up near her face. How she was not ejected for this, I don't know. The broadcast was talking about it, and that's why Sophie Cunningham even had the opportunity to hard foul her at the end. I don't know what you do, but the league's got to do.
Even the mainstream media got involved. Late-night hosts and sports commentators spoke out, showing how serious this has become. Jimmy Fallon stopped the jokes to send a clear message on national TV: protect Caitlyn Clark, enough is enough. At Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy didn't hold back, calling Sheldon and Mabry jealous loser punks who don't belong on the same court as Clark. When reactions like this happen, you know something's really wrong, and this time, it was clear to everyone.
Stop the fighting, he thought they meant the WNBA. What is going on? Protect Caitlyn Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
I said, oh, get why this hit such a nerve. You need to know who Caitlyn Clark is to the WNBA. She's more than just a rising star. She's the main reason the league is growing fast. Dr. Ryan Brewer, a finance expert at Indiana University, says Clark was behind 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity in her rookie year. That means over a quarter of the league's revenue came from one player, who was earning only $76,535 at the time. And it only gets bigger. Brewer predicts that in 2025, Clark could bring in nearly $1 billion in economic value for the WNBA. That's not an exaggeration, it's a billion-dollar impact. With numbers like that, she might be the most valuable player ever in women's basketball. So, the fact that she's being targeted on the court and not protected, that's not just unfair, it's shocking. And from a business point of view, it's downright careless.
Bring Caitlyn Clark to the NBA right now, because the refs ain't gonna protect her. She only got one teammate, and that's her, who gonna do something about it. Like, yo, yesterday, that's malice in the palace activity. Call for it. That y'all should have been throwing hands all over the place. How do you get poked in the eye, then get thrown to the ground, and then you receive a technical foul? And don't none of your teammates want to step up, fight, squabble, none of that. They just looking like, yo, it's been, we know that y'all been targeting Caitlyn Clark now. Now, I'm even watching, I'm like, hold on, what? Like, how are y'all letting this happen? How are y'all not protecting this girl? Now, she clearly is a superstar, right? But there's plenty superstars in the WNBA, and don't none of them get treated the way Caitlyn Clark get treated. Now, y'all gonna mess up and ruin the whole numbers, your ratings, your spawn, all that, if y'all don't have Caitlyn Clark in y'all's league. So y'all better start acting right.
A player drives ticket sales, TV ratings, sponsorships, and the league's visibility like Caitlyn Clark does. Letting her get hurt without serious consequences isn't just a mistake, it's a total failure. In any other major sport, moves like this would lead to ejections, suspensions, fines, and public statements. But in the WNBA, Clark keeps getting targeted, refs look the other way, and the league quietly moves on. The way the league dealt with the Jacy Sheldon incident shocked fans. Sheldon received just a flagrant one, basically a warning, for what many saw as a clear, intentional hit. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham, who stood up to defend Clark, got a flagrant and a fine. Let's be honest, if you attack the league's biggest star, you get a slap on the wrist. But if you protect her, you get punished twice as hard. It's like blaming a firefighter for putting out a fire while the arsonist walks away with a warning.
Next has been a very contentious 12 hours since the game. A lot of people on ESPN saying ridiculous things, like Monica McNutt saying she had no problem with Marina Mabry's foul. And I look at that in comparison to the Sophie Cunningham foul, which I have seen people say has no place in the league, unsportsmanlike. When that actually is a lot more sportsmanlike than the Marina Mabry one. Marina Mabry was completely disconnected from the play, had nothing to do with it. There was no play even going on when Marina Mabry did